Fuck it.
Hello, people. It's Santa here for the live TRIDENTCast. Oh, we got joy and cheer and metal. Oh, I've heard you've all been very good fans this year. Oh, well, here we go, everyone, with the theme song. This one's holiday theme song, but not really theme song. Oh, I just missed Santa. He was just here. Where did he go? Oh no, man! Every time I try to see Santa, he's gone. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the last TRIDENTCast of the year. Oh, we've already, ladies and gentlemen, got Gunderslam, Santa Israel. We've already got two donations from Joseph. You will abstain from alcoholic beverages for the entirety of 2021. Oh, will we? And then Slam Bammy is here. So drinks all around, gentlemen.
Bam lamb.
Drink to you, Joseph. Drink to you, Slam Bammy.
Cheers.
So guys, I will let you know. I crunched the numbers. I ran the spreadsheets. I even did the pivot tables. And for all of you watching, I found out that we are $31 away from making it an even $4,000 that we've donated to charity, like this whole year, which is pretty amazing. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the first $31 that we make here in the TRIDENTCast will go directly to charity, so we can hit that number. The rest will be embezzled, completely embezzled, used to buy drugs. But the first 31, because I don't want to do like I want to give like $4,001 to charity. Like that just doesn't sound right. So we're gonna. So if you guys want to send us a super chat or a tip or whatever, lordsofthestrident.com/tips. We'll drink to your health, to the detriment of ours, for everybody. To your health. So yeah. Welcome to the final TRIDENTCast of the longest year of our lives, 2020. How are you guys doing?
Crabby, but working on it.
Brian, do you want to show off your amazing sweater?
Yes. It looks like. Let me see if I'm in frame here.
Oh, you're in frame. That's great.
So this is a completely Mario-themed tacky Christmas sweater. It's very warm. It's very nice. I only wear it like once a year, mainly for this thing, because we do, for our Christmas podcast. I wore it a little while on Sunday. It lasted through Castlevania, and that was about it. It was too hot.
I can tell you're flexing, Brian, trying to impress us.
Well, of course.
He was shredding down to the basement. He's like, "Oh, run a little hot tonight."
Reach down between my legs, throw up on the floor.
Yeah. So, how's everybody else doing? Brett, you're very much in the Christmas spirit.
Yeah, we finally put up a Christmas tree. I haven't put a Christmas tree in I don't know how long. We went and cut it down and everything, so that's fun.
Really? That's a real tree?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
When I was growing up, we had like this peak ceiling in my mom's house, and it was like 18 feet tall or something like that. 18 or 16. So we'd always get like 15-foot trees. So
holy cow!
We'd always cut them down, and yeah, finally got a real tree. It's nice.
It's been so many years since I had a Christmas tree. What's like the average height of a Christmas tree?
Like the farm we went to a cut down farm in Middleton called Summer's Christmas Tree Farm, and I don't know. Most of them were like in that 6 to 8 foot range.
Okay.
I would say. But
I don't know why it was very funny that you called it a cut down farm. Like you go there and they have like a rack of like 10, 12 different like implements or weapons, and you choose which one that they use to cut down the tree.
Yeah, pretty much. That would be cool. They did have like a bunch of saws like stationed throughout the farm though.
Yeah.
Choose.
They would hate me. I would pick like the rusty knife, and they'd be stuck trying to cut down the tree for hours.
But you can run faster with the knife.
See,
Yeah, you
or if
probably.
they have like a herring, if they have a herring stuck to one of them, that would be cool.
Yeah. Brent, I want you to know that I did get that Counter-Strike joke, so I just so that we're clear on that. Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. I remember for the first maybe 6 to 7 years of my Christmases that I recall, my family would get a real Christmas tree. But dude, it would like the pine needles once it started to, die and decay, just the pine needles everywhere would be just like that'd be a real issue. And so eventually my parents were just like, screw it, and they ended up buying a plastic one, and it has been plastique from now on.
Yeah.
So
the last time my mom got a real tree, I had to try to whittle it down like after we got it in the house because the trunk was too wide to fit in the tree holder or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I put the axe through the linoleum.
Oh,
So yeah, good times all around.
And that's when
What y'all drinking tonight? That's why I don't clean axe.
that's when Brian learned the true meaning of Christmas.
Yeah.
Brett, what'd you say you had?
Just straight up Yeti.
Oh, nice.
No, it's a Goose Island holiday IPA, Christmas
Ooh.
IPA.
Nice. I've got a cherry streusel stout from Vintage Brewing Company. It's pretty good. It's very, very cherry-y.
I've got a Athletic Brewing Company All Out.
Is that
Extra dark.
Oh, or
Ooh.
is that an because it's all out of it?
NA beer.
Got it. That's a clever name.
Extra dark, though. It's pretty good actually.
Nice. Dark NA beer. I don't know why there wouldn't be such a thing, but
Yeah, they've come a long way the last couple of years.
awesome.
Aki, what are you drinking?
Let's see. I got Laughing Fox, which is a Crystal Weissen, so I think like a sparkling, Hefeweizen style wheat beer, the Laughing Fox, and I like the picture on it.
Yes, I do like that. I do like that beer quite a bit. I love the taste, and the picture is fantastic.
Yeah, I'm really glad they didn't make it for a while, and then they made it, and after a few years, so it's kind of nice to try it again.
Yeah.
This is a nice time of year for like a nice hearty wheat beer too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we had a let's start it off with a question from the chat. Or Brian, you said what you were drinking, right?
This is a Tom and Jerry.
A Tom and Jerry. Ooh.
Yes. So this is hot water and rum and brandy and Tom and Jerry mix, and it makes something eggnog-ish.
What is Tom and Jerry mix?
It's eggnog-ish. You add it to the hot water and it becomes eggnog-like, I guess.
Got it.
Uh-huh.
It's a bit of an acquired taste, but I really enjoy them. So
Talking about Tom and Jerry, I can't believe they're making a film that's like set to be released in 2021.
I know the new Tom and Jerry film. They're actually making a new movie, a new Tom and Jerry movie. Like, that's what the kids want nowadays. They love the Fortnite jokes and Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, it makes me have a little more faith in humanity when I meet many others on Reddit who think that Jerry is a freaking dick.
Yeah, Jerry is kind of a dick.
Yeah, Tom's just trying to do his job or just be a cat, and Jerry does terrible things to him.
Well, let's start it off, gentlemen, with a question from the chat from our good friend Truffle85. Before I do that, though, I want to give a big shout out to everybody watching tonight. We got Pants Queens in the house, Max Cool, Gunner Slam. We got Music Maker. I'm just going down the list here. We got Kitty Warrior Chelsea. We got Fowdude. We got Red Ninja. We got The Oven. The Oven is here. Pets Punk Playhouse. Slam Bammy. I Joseph. Who else? Rashavak. We've got we got lots of people. Jonathan Coldot is here, good friend of ours. John Walter, who's that? I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But
Some
thank.
Florida apparently.
And Devi's here. I just saw the picture. Devi's wonderful costume that she was shooting some cool burlesque in. Looks really, really cool. So great to. Oh, and Donovan's here. Hey, Donovan. So, question from Truffle85: favorite Christmas/holiday present that you all have received, or maybe even given this year? Since we're old dudes and we're not like unwrapping Nintendo 64s from underneath the tree anymore, or maybe we are. Maybe
this year.
Yeah.
Present this year.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta think about that then.
I guess I will go first. So and Brent and I were talking about this in the pre-show. I bought myself a little Christmas gift. I bought a new robot vacuum cleaner. I've only had one other robot vacuum cleaner before. It was a Roomba, and it was okay. But it wasn't one that like automatically recharged, so you'd have to go like find it and fish it out from under the bed. Heidi and I decided to name our robot vacuum cleaner like after like a British butler, so we called him Basil. Basil, get out from under the bed. What are you doing down there? Basil, you're out of charge already. Oh, you were just going for like an hour. What's going on there, Basil? And this one we've decided to name Lord Florsington. Or wait, no, was it Florsington? It was either Florsington or Florsbury. Lord Florsbury or Lord Florsington. He'll be a little bit more highborn of a butler. But I was this just ruined my day because I was so excited. It said that it was coming in the mail today. We had a huge snowstorm this morning. But we were all kind of dug out by I don't know, 9:30, 10. It seemed like it was fine on the roads. And it was coming via FedEx, and I was just sitting there like nose pressed up against the glass going like package, the whole day. And then like at 3:30 I got this note like yeah, sorry, due to weather we just didn't even try to deliver it, so sorry. And I was like, what? No, Lord Florsington. So that was an upsetting. It just ruined my day that I didn't get to meet Lord Florsington today. So I ended up just, I was I'm like, all right, fine. I'm just gonna order some food, and I guess I won't be meeting my robot butler today. But I guess other than that, I bought Heidi a weighted blanket, like a 30-pound, king size super deluxe weighted blanket. And we've been really digging that. So
yeah, those are nice.
I'm glad you mentioned the package thing. I feel like we've all been there where you have a package and it's supposed to arrive and it's like so important, you want it so much that like your whole day is just spent on waiting for that package.
Yeah.
And so then if it doesn't come, it just day ruined.
It is upsetting. I will say, Brett, you said that you have a weighted blanket. Is that right?
Yeah, we only have a 12-pound weighted blanket. Honestly, I don't even use it that much. It like gets moved around the house so much. But the times that I have used it, it's wonderful. Just like and wrapped up in a hug.
The interesting thing is that we've discovered is that we've talked about this on our like weekly chats, but here on the we haven't said this on the podcast. Like pretty much every night that I've used that weighted blanket, we now have like dreams every night. I've had crazy vivid dreams. Like last night, I was trying to get my mom to the airport in Seoul, Korea. And she was also trying to be apprehended by the Korean police for crimes against humanity. And I was like, we got to get you out of plane, Mom. And then there was this whole chase scene through like trains, and it was crazy. So that's been my night every single night. So it's been kind of crazy. Jay Giant, thank you so much for the sub. And Samo is here. What's up, Samo? And Red Ninja. Oh, thank you, Red Ninja. Holy
Have you
crap!
been through the Seoul airport on one of your trips to Japan?
No, never.
So this was an entirely fictional airport.
Completely fictional.
Interesting.
I got to give a quick shout out because Red Ninja gifted 5 tier 1 subs. Cheers for Red Ninja! Everybody, take a drink here. Woo!
Yeah, subs.
Yeah, subs, and thank you, Jay Diet, also for the sub. So I'm reminding everybody, we are $31 away from an even $4,000 going to charity. So we're gonna take the first $31 we make tonight, if we make it, and we'll donate it to charity, and then the rest we're gonna foolishly spend on cheap Cuban cigars, mostly for Aki.
Zingo.
You know, Aki, can you give your best manager with a cheap Cuban cigar telling you how bad your music is impression?
It's actually very hard because I feel like we've never had that manager moment, you know.
Well, we haven't, but like just you know, picture that you are him, and that, you know, your chest hair is bursting out of the top area of your unbuttoned shirt, and you're wearing a gold chain, and you're smoking a cheap Cuban cigar. What would you say to me about the new album? What would you say?
Okay, I'm just gonna, I guess, take this 1/4 inch and 1/8 inch input thing and make a cigar here.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Oh, that's good, actually.
It's terrible. It's terrible. Too much low end. I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, A+.
Complain about.
A+. Let me get some Aki emojis in the chat for that wonderful. Oh my God! Music Maker gave us $32. Ladies and gentlemen, we just hit our goal. And Pants Queen, $15 as well. Oh my gosh! Wow. Everybody drink. Everybody to Music Maker and Pants Queen. Thank you so much. Not only will the children will have socks this Christmas, but we'll also get enough Cuban cigars to keep Aki in business. Thank you guys so much.
It looks like all of Pants Queen's donations will be cigars, so I hope she can live with that.
Oh, thank you guys so much. Thank you. Oh, man.
My favorite Christmas present this year was a mellow and uneventful Christmas day. How Scrooge-like is that of me?
I don't know.
Leave me alone. God damn it.
You know, like we were saying earlier, it's like, I don't know, we're all old at heart, so, you know, it's like, you know, I want those kids off my lawn. So, oh, Jimbo sent us $25. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Oh, thank you, Jimbo. I gotta get another drink. I just finished my cherry streusel. So, Aki, can you continue telling me how my beer choices are bad as a manager while I go get another beer, please? I'll be right back.
Oh. Okay, I got something much better than that. Oh my God, guys. Glow-in-the-dark animals. Okay, I thought it was only like underwater things like coral reefs and some fish. No. Researchers just found out back in November that platypuses, they're already like super awesome in WTF, right? They glow like if you shine a like UV light on them, they glow like this beautiful like Van Gogh Starry Night blue.
What?
Whoa!
I know. Seriously.
What can platypuses do?
Type in glowing platypus.
I'm gonna.
Images.
Okay. Hold on.
Yeah.
I will. I'm gonna bring this up, and I'll try to pop this into the window, because I'm interested in this now. Glowing platypuses. Is it platypuses?
Yeah, just type in glowing platypus into Google.
Oh my God. Okay, hold on.
And so like
I'm pulling this onto the main screen. Here we okay, just give me a second here. Yeah,
I didn't know there were any mammals that that can glow like that. And then I found out so it turns out the Tasmanian Devil glows a bit too, although less if you do UV. They glow around their eyes and like their mouth and nose. And wombats marsupials. Aren't they fucking awesome? Oh, sorry, it's PG-13 pod. They're really freaking awesome. And yeah, they glow as well.
That's crazy.
I know. I could totally see scientists when they find this out. They're just like, well, shit. Like, why am I like doing all this other stuff with chemistry and whatnot? Like, I'm just going to shine UV lights on things, you know? I'm just going to go out into the forest at night and see what glows in the dark and hopefully not get mauled by a bear. So
maybe there's a new breed of bear that glows in the dark. You'll see them coming.
Right. But yeah, biofluorescence, really cool. Did not know it existed in like mammals or marsupials. Pretty cool.
We should make our patches out of platypuses.
Oh yeah, right. Our glow in the dark patches. You know,
That's a little dark, but
well, we can start a platypus farm and just like, I mean, you could probably harvest their fur in a friendly manner, right? Make platypatches. That's what Samo said.
Ty, I really like that platypatch.
Platypatch.
Yeah.
Also, I want to just point out. Let me see. Hesphia said the guy in the bottom left, Baron, I think, looks like an unholy medley of Thranduil and Matt Mercer. So, so there you go.
I don't know who those people are.
Now I know what I've been doing with my life.
So yeah,
I'm gonna hope that's a good thing and not a terrible thing.
I think it's a good thing.
I don't actually know who you're talking about either, but maybe I should look it up.
Maybe if they do another sale on glow in the dark patches or glow in the dark stickers, maybe we'll make a platypatch for the Patreon. So.
Also, really intriguing thing. I noticed Rozavox said platypi are poisonous, and that's another really weird one. I believe it's only the males that are poisonous. In the weirdest freaking things, it's only their back claws that are poisonous.
Oh wow!
Yeah, isn't that so weird?
That is pretty nuts. So everybody who's watching the TRIDENTCast for the first time, if you're wondering if this is what being in a van driving to the show is like, yes, this is exactly what it's like. We just talk about
they have venomous spurs on the heels of their hind feet, so it's like they're wearing deadly stilettos.
What?
You heard that on the hind feet, and it's like the back area, so it's like but with the back.
But oh god, okay, all right. Oh my god. Now our platypatches have to be a glow in the dark platypus wearing stilettos. I mean, clearly. So, Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Okay, that was too good. That was too good. 10 points to Gryffindor. So, hey, speaking of patches and stickers and all that sort of stuff, we got I'll pull this up on my camera here, see if I can get close enough. We got What Would Cool Youth Pastor Greg Do? Foil stickers. We got those in the mail. Those are going out with any order of pretty much anything. So if you want to get some of those. We're also getting gold foil stickers coming in the mail very soon of the Burn It Down baseball t-shirt, which will also be going out free with any order of anything. And also, once we get out in the world playing again, we'll have those for free at our merch booth as well. So if you see us in person, you can grab a ton of those. So yeah, let me start off. I'm just gonna warn you guys here that at some point during the TRIDENTcast tonight, we're gonna be counting down our top 5 favorite things that you have experienced in 2020. And what I mean by that is you get to pick the topic. So it can be top 5 favorite cat pictures. It can be top 5 favorite Phrygian minor chords. It can be top 5 favorite snowplow attachments. Whatever you want, basically. But you will have to think of it, and then you'll be counting down your top 5. We're not going to do that right now, but I just wanted to prep you guys mentally to get your top 5 things in your brain set and ready to go. Top 5 favorite oboes.
Yes.
Number 1.
The oven had a good question.
Did I miss that? Right. Do y'all play anything beside your respected instruments? Does anyone play Kenny G when no one's looking? constantly. Let's see. Let's go across. Let's go across the tiles here. Starting with Brent. Brent, what do you play?
I used to play piano, and I used to play euphonium, and I used to play guitar. Now I just play bass. I'd also like to add that the oven sounds like a backyard wrestling character.
Who's that coming up from the back rope? It's the oven! Oh!
The oven!
Aki.
But mostly now I just play bass.
Okay. Aki, do you play anything besides guitar?
Boy, I can only do guitar. I don't know. I never really tried our instruments or whatnot. I think I might be the only one in the band that just a single instrument.
All right, Brian, hit us with the list.
I currently teach guitar, piano, oboe, and ukulele. But I have played bass and drum set, and I screw around on trumpet and saxophone.
All right, Brett.
I think that's enough.
I mean, percussion is such a huge range of instruments. So, I mean, I've played most of all percussion instruments I could ever think of. Like, there's all that.
If you can hit something with it, Brett's played it.
Yeah, hit things with other things.
But your specialty is in babinga and baba booey.
The way you said it was like so casual. It's great. It's like, well, drums actually encompass many instruments. You could say I play them all.
I mean, no one's really ever tried to hit a guitar really hard, have they? So there you go.
Actually, there's literally, I've played a percussion piece that used a guitar as like a percussion instrument. Like
really
stuff. Oh yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, like through that, I mean, through college, like I was doing marimba and all this keyboard instruments. Started on piano. That was my first instrument.
Uh-oh.
There you go.
Don't break your guitar, Brian.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing.
Right.
See if I can get in frame here.
Yeah, just... For those of you who can't see what Brian's doing, he's whacking his guitar over and over with a drumstick in an attempt to break it.
Wrong?
Yeah, the last time you were dicking around with your instrument, you ended up like putting a giant crack through the middle, so...
That was my acoustic a couple years ago. I was being an idiot, and I dropped it and broke the top. Yeah.
But yeah, anything else? Anything else, Brett?
I mean, I wouldn't say I can play piano anymore, but I guess I can if I really tried. But yeah, it's mostly just drum set and stuff, and some piano if I tried.
Gotcha. I play, so besides singing is my main, vocals are my main instrument, but I play, I can play guitar, bass, piano, a little bit of accordion, harmonica, trumpet, and that's about it. So there you go. Donovan
just mentioned Spinal Tap. There is a hysterical scene out of Spinal Tap where he's playing. He's got his guitar on, and he's using a violin to play his guitar. Like he's running the violin across the guitar string. And he stops, tunes the violin, and then goes back to like fucking priceless.
Oh man. Yeah. So
that should be if you like heavy metal, that should be like required viewing for you. If you haven't seen it, you owe it to yourself to. As dated as it looks now, it's still a wonderful watch.
Yeah, Spinal Tap is a absolute classic for sure. Yeah, I guess I'm looking at the Twitch chat here. We have to add in more hurdy-gurdy and bagpipes into the next record. So we'll get on that. We'll look at what we've got, and we'll get on that for everybody out there. So
yeah, Yaddy Westfield. Okay.
So
yeah, if you want to see a good version of what I normally do, look up a guy named John Petrucci.
I like a nice subtle burn.
So I wanted to go through some of the things that we had done since last we spoke publicly on the TRIDENTCast. Of course, we're always chatting on Discord. If you're not on the Discord, go jump on over there. It's actually been really fun. I'm pretty new to Discord, but it's been cool just hanging in the chat room. I think we've got links to it now on all of the YouTube description plugs and all sort of stuff. But Brad, how many times did I tell you don't be looking at the pornos during the TRIDENTcast? What are you doing? Yeah, see, now he mutes himself. He's like, well, I'll just mute myself. And all right, so so the first thing that we did since the last TRIDENTcast was the Drunken Quarantine Karaoke, which was the most successful Drunken Quarantine Karaoke to date. Holy cow, that was insane, and we raised a lot of money for the Native American Rights Fund, or NARF, and the Clean Air Task Force. I think it was Clean Air Task Force. But I think for me personally, the highlight of the Drunken Quarantine Karaoke was maybe about 4 hours in. I was really, really drunk, and I was trying to put on a green screen suit. So I stripped down here in the basement, and I was trying to put on this bodysuit, but I was so drunk that I kept putting it on inside out. And Heidi eventually helped me get it on the right way. And then I got back on camera, fully expecting that I would be basically just a floating head. And what ended up happening was that the green screen suit was a completely different shade of green than what I had keyed out in the background. So I just looked like a weird guy in a skin-tight green suit, singing Ace of Base or whatever the hell I was singing at the time. So yeah, that was amazing. But it was a really fun time. We raised a lot of money for a good cause. A lot of people came out. It was for a good cause. And
put out a really good product.
Yeah, we have a really good product. So we did that, and that was a good time. There may be another Drunken Quarantine Karaoke coming sometime in 2021. I can't do it every month. I can't probably even do it every other month, because I would go into some form of septic shock, liver cancer, whatever. But it's always a good fun time. I was watching the replay, and like the first 2 to 3 hours, I was like, okay, I'm kind of doing this. Like I don't sound too bad. And then the last 2 hours, I'm like, oh boy, oh my, I am not sounding good. So
that'll happen.
Yeah.
It's still amazing that you could sing that long at all.
Yeah, that's true. Sure. But did you guys tuned in for a large chunk of it? Do you remember any highlights that that you guys can think of?
You sang Skid Row for me. That was nice.
Yep.
Nessun Dorma is my perennial favorite.
Oh yeah, you were pretty drunk at that point, and the whole we were all on the edge of our seats. Like, is he gonna hit that high note? Is he gonna do it? And you did it.
Yep.
It probably wasn't the best B I've ever hit in my life, but it was hit. So yeah,
you won.
I did it. So
it was so long ago. I'm trying to remember more of it.
I know it feels like it was a million years ago, but it was only like 4 weeks ago, really, which is kind of crazy. J-Dye, do you ever worry about hurting your vocal cords doing it for that long while drinking? I would worry about it if I hadn't so the last couple of years I've been doing vocal lessons, and I've been learning to sing a lot with a lot less stress. I've been learning to sing a lot easier, or a lot more healthily, right? And although I am a little hoarse the next day, I'm never ever hoarse to the point of pain. I'm never ever feeling pain while I'm singing. And you might say, well, you are also blackout drunk, so how can you tell? And that's a fair point. But usually the next day you really tell if you've gone overboard, and I've never really been there. So, Hopefully, I get a mix of songs that are just challenging enough to be fun to sing, but not destroy my vocal cords. So yeah, Alex bet that I was gonna barf during this stream. I came kind of close this time, but no barfs this time, so it was good. Yeah, so that happened, and then shortly after, we finally released our next full-length acoustic album, Power Outage, an album that was supposed to come out. Well, we were supposed to be. Hey, Larry the Steadfast, $10. Thank you, Larry. $10. This one's to you, Larry. I got the Trappist Rochefort 10.
Oh, that's a wonderful beer. It's so good.
Reminds me of.
Wish I was drinking it right now.
Reminds me of. Reminds me of Belgium every time. So.
Drinking really warm Belgian beers driving to Italy.
Oh God, yeah.
in the van.
Yeah. Donovan asked, would any of the other guys consider doing drunken karaoke? Maybe if we were in the situation where we could all be in a room together and not like, drunken quarantine karaoke was kind of built off of the premise of like, we can't do anything else right now. So I might as well just get drunk and sing for all of you alone, with my alone with myself. But, maybe, who knows, maybe in the future.
I mean, I'd be game. My voice has a shelf life currently of about 20 minutes, and that's about it. And then I start going hoarse, so that's about all you're gonna get. You take those old records off the shelf, and then you put them back on the shelf.
Yep.
And then you take those records off the shelf, and then you put them back on the shelf.
Yep.
Yeah,
and I do
a song that goes everywhere all at once.
And Heidi, that is true that Heidi is also there for drunken quarantine karaoke, but she's too busy running the show. She's the woman pulling the levers and pressing all the buttons behind the scenes. So I don't know if she, and by the time she would ever think about getting up and singing, I might be too wasted to press the buttons and pull the levers. So oh, she said maybe she will throw in sometime. Okay, all right. Well, all right. But yeah, so Power Outage. We came out with a. Well, I don't know. I've been talking a bit. You guys want to talk about this one?
It is the record that was like a millennium in the making. It felt like.
Yeah.
It was shelved for a long time, but it's out for consumption now.
It's acoustic.
A fine talking point, yes.
Figured we should mention that.
Yeah.
Acoustic renditions of songs we've already played, in addition to one song that will be off the next album. Kind of like we did for the first acoustic album, 0 Hour came out on it before it was recorded proper. That's true of Offering to the Void.
Yes, okay.
And the best song is the Spanish-y version of Death Dealer. Just skip to track 10 or whatever it is.
I think it's 9. It's 9.
9.
Yeah.
That song rules.
Yeah.
It turned out really well. It exceeded expectations for sure. It's really neat. I pulled out my classical guitar with the nylon strings to track the guitars on that, and but what really put it over the top was Brett's auxiliary percussion offerings on that.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Brett, tell us about the day that we did that, or tell everybody about the day that we did that, and the amount of percussion instruments the amount of trips it took to get all those percussion instruments down into the basement. Because like my remembrance of it was just looking and going like, what more? You're going to get more. Oh yeah. Well, okay.
Well, I mean, when you hear Spanish guitar and like the way it was all laid out, it's like, oh my god, I can hear an entire like percussion, like a Cuban percussion section here. And so I was just like, well, I need to find all the instruments that I have and bring them, and figure out how to recreate that. So it has congas in it. There's even there's cone like deep down. I just use it as bass. There's triangle, shaker, cowbell. I'm missing something.
Don't forget the instrument that stole the show, literally.
Oh, yeah, the samba whistle.
Yes.
Is that a brass or a woodwind?
I mean, it's samba whistles have like this weird wood peg in the middle that spins around when you blow, so that's what gives it the kind of vibrato-y sound. So I don't know. I guess it's.
I believe it would be classified as a woodwind.
Yeah, because it's got a reed.
Because you're not buzzing into it,
yes.
which is what you have to do for a brass.
Yes.
I think it's. I'm sorry, if you had more to say. My bad.
No, that's fine. But I could have more instruments for sure.
I think for anyone out there who hasn't heard it yet, it's a really well-rounded offering. It's got new stuff. It's got acoustic version of Offering to the Void, which will come out, which will be on the next record, which we haven't even played live yet. We haven't played the full electric version of that yet. And then it's got some really fun covers on it. It's got Alice in Chains. It's got Scorpions. And if you want to hear some oboe, I actually play some oboe on that track. And then everything from that all the way to old stuff from the vaults, Fighting for Love and The Road, ones that we don't play too often these days, but they got some time on the disc too. Also, the Desolation and Haze of the Battlefield. So essentially Haze of the Battlefield 1 and 2 put back to back. So you can kind of A/B those and see what you think as a back-to-back, because Haze of the Battlefield 1 was on Frostburn and Desolation, or Part 2, is a B-side for Shadows from the Past. So
yeah, and when we were writing Haze for Frostburn, I had always thought about making it like a two-parter, but we just never found that other song that kind of fit as Part 2 until I mentioned that to Brian like a million years later, and then and then that kind of Desolation was born from that, which was kind of cool. Aki, you'll be happy to hear that Minneapolis Bass Ted from Thor and Dawn of Valor, he's like, hey man, I love that song The Road. Is that a cover of somebody? And I'm like, nope, that's a Lords of the Trident original. He's like, no way. Oh my god, I forgot it was on Death or Sandwich. So he loved that one.
Nice.
very good.
Yeah, so Power Outage came out, and it's on Bandcamp if you want to stream it. And we also have physical copies. Really, really great cover art done by Eli Quinn, the same guy who did the Droids Attack cover art for their last album, Sci-Fi or Die. I also want to give a big shout out to Leisha for doing the translation of the Death Dealer into Spanish. Did an amazing translation of that, and we would not have been able to do that song if it wasn't for her work. So we wanted to.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So, and Ryan Hitchcock's here. Hey, what's up, Ryan? Version of Chains on Fire is awesome. There's a little acoustic Easter egg on that one. Because Brent kind of plays a polka bass on it. It's like dirt, 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 dirt.
It's supposed to be stupid for the record.
Yeah, it's great. It's really good. So that came out. One of the other things that we're waiting on right now, which I'm actually really super excited about, is we all splurged and got some custom made in-ear monitors. We all went and got their, well, except for Brent. He's waiting to see how we feel about him before he gets his. But we all went and got, the silicone injected into our ears, and we sent them off to, some sort of a secret lab in a bunker somewhere, and they're crafting in-ears that fit directly into our ear holes. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. So, yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Exciting.
Yeah, super pumped about those. I've wanted custom in-ears since I started playing in bands. So, super pumped.
Yeah. And now we got it. Alex says mine's still shrink wrapped because I'm saving it to sell on eBay with the alternate cover. So I had promised that I would get the shirt and the CD out before the end of the year. And sometimes, with the way COVID is happening and the U.S. Postal Service is going. Shipping has been really difficult, and it's just been backed up, right? So I was looking at approximate delivery times for all these things, and I realized that I had to get the CD printed by a certain date, and it was basically by the end of November to get everything ready and out before the end of the year for everybody. And our cover artist Eli had a medical issue that came up last minute where he was unable to finish the cover, and he had like a sketch done, and I was, I found out like that morning, so I was up against this crazy deadline, and he's like, you can, I'm sorry, I'll get this thing to you as soon as I can. You can use my sketch in the meantime. So we ended up making about 180 copies of the CD for the people on the Patreon. That it has an alternate cover where I used his sketch and kind of like burned it into some wood background kind of stuff. So that's the only time we will ever print that version of the CD. So that one is going to be a Patreon only exclusive. So if you've got that copy, and we hit it big, I mean, you could sell it on eBay for hundreds of dollars, probably. Right, Aki? Aki's just like, I don't know.
Let the record show that he nodded.
Sorry, I was laughing at Brett's expression. Like, he looks like he's like reclined, like watching TV after a long day of work, where he's like,
Hey, you gotta be comfortable for this stuff.
oh no, it's great.
It's a marathon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, also, I told Tyler that, but I don't know if this whole like getting old shit is just getting to me or something, but I've been having like sciatica issues. So it's like I've had to like kind of stretch myself out every time I sit for an extended period of time. So it's getting better on the mends, but
Does driving for long periods of time bug you right now?
yeah, it's gotten better, but when it started, it was really annoying. And like I drive a decent amount for work. Of course, then with the holiday season, it's like great. Got to drive all over creation. Actually, we didn't do too much traveling, but yeah. But
yeah, back problems are no joke. Once they happen, I haven't had a weird back thing in a while, so
yeah.
But once all of a sudden like something gets tweaked and you can't bend over or like put socks on or something, that's really not fun. It really sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I still, if I sit for a while, it's normally uncomfortable and I need to get up and, I don't know, stretch or whatnot. I got a foam roller back there. I got a better back brace thing that I'm actually using right now. So, no, I definitely hear you on the back pain. Not fun.
Yep. So Lord of the Trident is now sponsored by Bengay. Thank you, Bengay.
Yes.
The number one.
Schmeckler's powder.
Balsam specific.
Yeah.
So a few things that we came out with recently. We dropped the opera version of with Brittany Slaves from Unleash the Archers. We dropped the opera version, the power metal opera battle version of Brindisi from La Traviata, and that went absolutely viral. That went crazy. People absolutely loved that one. Right now, I think it's sitting at almost 30,000 views, and we only put it out, 3 weeks ago. So it's been getting quite the views and quite the comments. Most have been appropriate. Some have been kind of weird, kind of creepy. Very, I feel bad for the comments that Brittany must regularly get. Like, oh boy. So but yeah, most of them have been just wonderful. So
it's certainly something of a double-edged sword. When you get for better or for worse, I think when you have a female member of your band, it does, tend to generate more attention. But then with that attention comes a lot of weirdness usually.
Right.
So I guess it's you got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
So.
But 97% of the comments and the people have been just absolutely fantastic. So that's been nice. And Brittany was over the moon about it. She loved how it turned out. And then the next week we actually and I want to say for anybody who found us via those, like Jay Diet was saying, he found us via that video. So like the next week we came out with the Carry the Flame power converter cover, and I felt kind of weird doing it kind of back to back, but I didn't plan it like that, because I mean, when you look at it like from that perspective, it really looks like we're very, very obsessed with Unleash the Archers. And while we love them and they are good friends of ours, it's like, we're not like making, we're not making dolls out of their hair and worshiping them at altars or whatever. I mean, so. But yeah, we had planned we planned on the Power Metal Opera Battle back in July, I think, and just schedules didn't match up for the longest time, and so we finally got that out in December, and then I was working on that Carry the Flame cover for, when did we shoot that, Brett and Brent? Like October, late October, was it?
Sounds right.
Yeah,
I can't remember anything.
I think it was late October. I think it was before Halloween. I think it was the weekend before Halloween.
Yeah. Your neighbors were having a Halloween party.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we had that in the works for a while, and it all kind of coalesced all at the same time. But the Carry the Flame video also did really good. We got about 6,000 views on that at the moment. The absolutely amazing Seven Kingdoms. Those wonderful people were on it. Sabrina has an amazing voice, and Camden did some cool shredding on his weight rack. You can see his home gym in the background. He should have. I told him he should have been shredding that like while squatting, 350 or whatever. But maybe next video, right? So
what could go wrong?
What could go wrong? So that came out. Those were really good. Donovan said, how do you feel about getting 10,000 YouTube subscribers? One of our
it's okay, I guess. Whatever.
I guess it's fine. One of our year-end goals was to get the YouTube up to 10,000. I kind of thought it might be a little pie in the sky, but we ended up doing it, which was a real awesome shock. And what I found out was the last 50 or so was actually from Tom in Germany. He reached out to his podcast like listener base, which I think he's got something like 15,000 people that like actively listen to his podcast, and he's like, hey, go check these guys out and like them on, give them a subscribe on YouTube if you like them. And I opened my phone, and it's like overnight we had something like 60 or 70 subscribers from that, and I was like, well, where did all these come from? And then Tom was like, oh yeah, that was me. So thank you, Tom.
I did not know that. That's wonderful.
Yeah. So
yeah, you're gonna say like Tom uses 50 Google bot accounts. And...
yeah, but yeah, we made it. The only downside to having 10,000 YouTube subscribers is if you look in the, where is it? It's over here. If you look at, I gotta do it with this hand. If you look in the upper, right up there. In the upper left-hand corner where it says subscribers 10,000, that number is actually not accurate because we got like 10,050. But it's not. It used to update every 10. Now it's probably gonna only update every 100. How are people gonna know? How are they gonna know people? So
that's really important.
And of those 10,050, we got 17.
Yeah, it's for.
But I will say I am happy that those 17 people are here, and I'm happy you're hanging out with us.
No, we got
cheers.
7. It's 17 on Twitch and 28 on YouTube. So
I am happy for the 45 people who are hanging out with us tonight.
Yeah,
so welcome and thank you.
Good quick math.
2 + 2 is 4. -1, that's 3. Quick maths.
Amazing.
So yeah, so lots more YouTube stuff coming your way. We've got a very big video coming out on New Year's Day at noon Central. People who are on the Patreon at any level have already seen it. It is, and I'm not going to spoil what it is here. I've given a lot of hints, and a lot of people pretty much already know what it is, but I will say that it was absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, the most difficult and challenging, and like logistically challenging power converter cover that I have ever done. A real vocal challenge, this one. So yeah, it's gonna be you're gonna love it. If you haven't seen it yet, tune in youtube.com/Swords of the Trident on New Year's Day at noon Central. We're gonna be doing a premiere, and it's gonna be absolutely fantastic. If you want to see it right now, right above my head, patreon.com/Swords of the Trident. Just sign up for any amount, even $1. You can see that and a bunch of other fantastic stuff. Speaking of YouTube, Brian, do you want to talk about your solo shred session that we just did?
Yeah. This last Sunday, I did one more round of video game music. Overall, it went pretty well. Excuse me. Sorry. I've been focusing most of my efforts on kind of trying to more or less put a wrap on the new record. And with that in mind, I didn't entirely have a ton of time to completely build a new program up from scratch. So I redid a handful of the video game tunes I did with accompanying video from back in June, and added a couple new ones. Yes, and I had a difficulty with my whammy bar. The fun part of that story, and it is honestly fun, is that as soon as we turned the camera off, I fixed it like 5 seconds later. So I'm happy. I am happy, and it is fun that it is fixed and back to normal. There was just I was looking right at what I needed to adjust, but with the pressure on and wanting to get back to the music, the brain short circuits and you can't figure out what to do in the heat of the moment. But yeah, all it took was a Allen wrench, and we're back in business. So a stream of Brian failing at Double Dragon.
I'd watch that.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a fucking goal. All right.
We'll do a
inspired me.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say your set, Brian, inspired me to pick up Undertale again. I had never beaten that game, but I was like, oh, it's actually pretty good. It gets good reviews, so I should play it.
I want to try Undertale. One of my favorite SNES RPGs is Earthbound, and I heard Undertale has kind of an Earthbound feeling to it.
Yeah,
it's really weird and funny.
Undertale is amazing. It is really, really good. The way that it, and the twist got spoiled for both me and Brian before we played it, but
I don't know it.
But we're not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything about it. But I think the way that it's presented and the way that you can play it is absolutely incredible. And the twist is so good that I feel really bad that somebody spoiled it for me. Because it's amazing.
Yeah, and then Ty, it was my second song of the podcast, but he extracted my Undertale medley. And that is now a standalone video, which we've also put out. So if you weren't around for the podcast, for the live stream, check that out too. That one went pretty well overall.
Mm-hmm.
I debuted Chrono Trigger medley, an arrangement of Dire Docks from Mario 64, and Bubble Bobble, which is just a ridiculously fun, like silly but fun song.
Question: when are we getting a Baron versus Asian Metal Guitar battle stream? When we can get everybody in the same room together again without fear of killing each other. Probably, right? Right, Aki?
Yeah, something like that.
Donovan, movie themes? Yeah, I think that would be a fun theme to explore.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. I'll keep that in mind.
I want to see Brian shredding up the Terminator theme. You know, and just like throwing your own little thing on, your own little twist on it. I think that'd be cool. Nebo from Downtown Brown would always do that in the middle of shows, and I always thought that was so cool.
Oh man, I love the Terminator theme. I'll like sometimes just for fun because I love gear and whatnot. I'll watch different people like on vintage synthesizers play the Terminator theme and others.
Nice.
There's the funny little bit of music nerd stuff about that. There's an ongoing debate online as to what time signature the Terminator theme is in. And it's either, I'm trying to think, it's either it's an ongoing debate on whether it is 7/4 or like 11/8.
It feels like it's got a bunch of polyrhythms in it. I actually just watched the original Terminator like for the first time ever today. I'd never seen the original Terminator.
Are you kidding me?
I've never seen it ever. I watched it for the first time today.
That used to be one of my favorite movies as a kid.
I first saw, the only Terminator that I ever saw was Terminator 2. And I love Terminator 2. I love Terminator 2. And on Monday on the Sega CD stream, I picked the Terminator Sega CD game to kind of show off the Stage 2 song that we ripped off for Death or Sandwich that got turned into Terminated. Remember when we were kind of and then that got me. I was talking about it, and I was like, oh man. I've never seen the Terminator, and everybody did the same freaking out where it's like, oh my God. And so I said, okay, I promise you I will watch it before the TRIDENTCast, and I will give you my thoughts. So.
And
yeah, it's, I mean, yes, I agree. The second's the better one. Sorry, I cannot see the writing, but the person who's saying Terminator is the only franchise where I like the second movie more than the first. Yeah, I would agree. Maybe that and Aliens, but yeah. Oh my God, Ty, the police station shootout scene, the
so
original
good.
time that Schwarzenegger says, "I'll be back." Like,
so there was a number of things that now that I've watched the original Terminator, there were a number of references in Terminator 2 that I didn't realize were references to Terminator 1. And when I saw it, like "Come with me if you want to live," and like the psychologist and all that, I was like, "Oh shit, this is from Terminator 2. Oh, it was a reference to Terminator 1. It was. I really liked the movie. I thought it was a really great. I can see why people say it's a classic.
I wish you had seen the first before the second, just to be able to get that.
Yeah, I do agree with. I agree with J Diet and with you. Terminator 2 is way better than Terminator 1. Aliens, for my money, way better than Alien. I think.
Mm-hmm. I think Alien is still really good. The problem is they're such different films.
Yeah, they're two different genres, basically.
Yeah.
So.
I think. Sorry.
That's it.
I'm sorry too.
I was going to say the Terminator theme at the beginning of Terminator and Terminator 2 is different. In Terminator 1, I believe the da-da-da like goes much quicker.
Yeah.
Than the melody in Terminator 2.
Yeah, it's arranged differently. Brett, I would encourage you to give this a listen. My personal take on it, because it's either 7/4, it's either 11/8 or 13/8. I forget which one it is off the top of my head. And the answer is, in my opinion, that it's inconclusive. You actually cannot determine what meter it's in because he did not track the original sound to a click.
Oh.
Which means sometimes it's 7, sometimes it's 13, because it's not played consistently to a click. It speeds up and slows down, and with that as a factor, you can't determine exactly what time signature it's in. And then for the Terminator 2 intro, it's rearranged for strings. Whereas I think the original theme was kind of pounded out on synthesizers.
Mm-hmm.
So Yeah, I think the Terminator 1 is. I'd almost say it's a better story, it's like I think it could have even been a standalone movie. The only thing is the dated special effects.
Yeah.
Even then, you have to take those with a grain of salt because it's the best they could do with the budget they had in 1982 or whatever.
84.
And 84. Even then, I mean from 84 to like 91 or 92 when Terminator 2 dropped, like light years of difference.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you have to just accept that the special effects aren't what they are these days, and you have to live with it and just kind of take it for the story.
I do personally feel like the effects. I totally agree, but yeah, I will say they're those practical effects. I feel like they're like not distractingly bad, and some of the scenes, like even him like cutting through his eye and whatnot. I think it doesn't look great, but oh my god, those kind of practical effects in a stop motion with the Terminator at the end, so much better than really terrible CGI from the late 90s, early 2000s.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hey, Datis is here. Datis said, "Hey, dude, you guys should do a live stream watch along of T2 for Pontifex Mortis." Oh yeah, we should. We should stream that. We'll have like a reaction cam right on your face.
Quick question: which is it, the first one or the second one with like the flaming thumbs up?
Second one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I've seen that, and not the first. I need to figure out which one I've seen. I can't remember.
All right. Well, I think it's time for us to get to our top 5 things of the year. But before we do that, it's time for America's #1 favorite, best segment of the podcast ever invented. No, not me pulling up my Steam library. No, absolutely not. It's and Aki, I didn't even check. Did you send a cat picture?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is time for Aki's cat picture of the month. As soon as it downloads, my computer.
Sorry, by the way, I realized like I wasn't talking a bunch, and then as soon as we talk about movies, because I think it's just I'm really passionate about it, I just like kept talking over everyone.
Yeah,
so
how dare you be passionate about things, Aki? This is not acceptable in this band. And speaking of that, here's a cat picture. Tell us about this cat picture, Aki.
Okay. So there's a number of things going on in the cat picture I really like. So first, if you're living in Madison, you know this, but maybe you don't live in Wisconsin. We just had a big snowstorm, or moderate sized one. We got like 6 inches or 5 or whatever yesterday night. And so immediately I was like, I need a cat picture that has snow in it of some form. But the other thing that really stood out to me is that cat is so freaking plush. PG-13.
No, you can swear. It's fine.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's after 10 now. Man, it's so fucking plush. Like, oh man, I so want to pet it. And yeah, it's super plush. And then I love how the cat, like, cats always do this where they always like sit or stand on like really like small surface area objects. And here it's on this like really small fence. And I can tell like the cat has this great boopable wet pink nose. And the cat's like looking at the photographer with caution because he knows that we want to boop its nose. Like, and so the cat's like, yeah, right, exactly. Look how pink it is. I love it when it's pink and wet. And like, yeah, is the cat's just like, you're not going to boop it, is it? And the photographer's like, no, I'm just going to get a little closer. And then lastly, exactly, Ty, the eyes. Like, oh my God, the perfect eyeliner and the green eyes. Like, oh, I really like how this cat looks.
Is that cat angry, or is it?
I don't know if it's angry. I think it's it probably doesn't know whether or not to like. I feel like the cat's like cautiously looking at the photographer, one of those moments where, you know, you're walking in a neighborhood and there's a cat, and if you like go over to the cat and you're like, kitty, you know, it'll run away. But if you very slowly like extend a hand, then it might like sniff your hand and let you pet it. I feel like it's kind of at that stage. Yeah.
I was thinking that since the snow on his back looks so fresh, like the snow just fell on it, because if he moved, the snow would fall off. So I was thinking like snow fell from above, then he was doing that like turn to the camera face.
Oh yeah.
I mean, generally speaking, most cats aren't super thrilled to be covered with snow, I don't believe.
Right.
Yeah, they're interesting. Some don't. I know some they're kind of indifferent because their fur, they don't feel it as much. That's actually another thing I like with the picture. I'm glad you guys mentioned is the snow. It makes me think, so you can see the snow and it's kind of coming down at this angle, and it made me think of that first stage in the Winterland area of the original Donkey Kong Country, where the stage starts where there's no snow, and then the further you go into the stage, more and more snow comes down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys remember Donkey Kong Country.
Oh yeah.
Oh, of course.
You remember that stage? It's the first level in the snow ice area. It's great. But I was just telling some coworkers, a part of this time of the year that I love is I really love when cats and dogs misjudge the depth of a snow mound, and they like hop in, and they like hop in, and then they're completely submerged, but then their tail pops up like a periscope. And the dog one, it's more of a like telephone pole sticking up, and then it's like wagging. And the cat one, the cat tail normally at the top goes over a little like this, like a periscope, and that really makes me happy.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Aki's cat picture of the month. There it was, your last cat picture for 2020, and what a good one to end this accursed year on. I think the cat's face generally sums up my general feelings about 2020. But yes, thank you, Aki, for that wonderful cat picture. Now, let's go over to the second most requested podcast segment of the podcast. Ooh, you better,
Brett.
I was trying to listen to the Terminator theme song and figure out what.
Brett, what better you do?
Geez, guys, pay attention when you're on a podcast. But Brian, I do think it is. From what I could tell, I was on listening to shortly. I think it is 13.8 is what I'm gathering. But any whoosies, since I've been off work and not doing much lately, I've just been playing a lot of video games, and I've been in a restart old games that I've played phase, and I'm not usually pretty big into replaying games for some reason, but I know you guys do on a regular basis, so maybe I'm preaching to the choir here, but I just restarted Breath of the Wild again, and I like recently beat it, so I'm all for that idea. And if you don't normally replay games, replay them. Like I restarted Skyrim again, 2 giant games all at the same time.
Oh man.
Yeah. So replay your favorites, I think. I mean, how often do you guys think you replay games?
That's all I do.
Yeah.
I would say not super often, unless we're talking about games that are sort of like randomized and unending. You know, like Binding of Isaac or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, Brett, it's actually interesting you bring that up, because I'm kind of weird in that I tend to watch both with movies and video games. I tend to play them once and never touch them again.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really funny because I love to watch reviews of movies and video games, even if like I've played them. And yeah, I've had some of these moments where I'm like, wow, maybe I'll go back and like play this computer game or play this old school SNES game I grew up with, like, you know, Mega Man X or something. But yeah, it's funny. I tend to just play a game once and never play it again, but maybe I should revisit.
Yeah, I mean, that's normally because I think about like what it took to beat the game in the first place, and I'm just the games that I'm thinking of, Skyrim and Breath of the Wild. It's like there's so much. Like I spent 150 some hours on Breath of the Wild, and Skyrim probably more than that. And it's like just thinking about putting that much time into something again, it's like ungodly daunting. But then you start again, and like I don't know, you get like giddy when you start over. You know what's coming, and you get all excited about it. So,
Well,
yeah,
absolutely.
if you haven't replayed one of your old favorites, give it a shot.
For sure. I mean, I do that constantly. As a matter of fact, I do that to a fault. I would almost always rather replay something I've played than something new, but I'm weird. But, you know, I think part of it becomes for me is can I do it faster the second time through? Can I do it more economically, more efficiently? Can I get a higher completion rate? I guess that's the sort of stuff that I really, really enjoy.
Right.
So it's like, yes, like it took all this time to go through the first time because I didn't know what to do. And I really, really didn't want to go online and look it up.
Right.
But now I do know what to do. How much of it can I remember? And, you know, how quickly can I knock it out now that I know the game? Azuki just mentioned in the text or in the chat, I wish I could have the experience of playing it for the first time again.
Right. I know
that sensation is exactly why everyone has gotten into randomizers. And by everyone, I mean like the 5 people I watch on YouTube. But there are people who have figured out how to reprogram the old Zelda, old Final Fantasy. They do it with all Link to the Past even and Super Metroid, so that every time you play it, it's randomized and all the things are shuffled around and put in different spots. And in an old game like Legend of Zelda, they even randomize the shapes and the placements of the dungeons.
Oh, wow.
So it plays the same, but everything is all mixed up and moved around. So in a sense, it really is like, it's not entirely like playing it from the first time ever with having no prior experience of it, period. But it is a different and new experience. And then the guys I watch run, they both get a randomizer and they run it competitively to see who can burn through it the fastest. And I love that.
So for like Super Metroid, is the map different, or do they just change where items are?
They change where items are, and they obviously like they have to do it to a degree where you can still access places.
You can do some hacking shit.
You can do some hacking shit, but also there are lots of speedrunners out there who have figured out how to get to like kind of any part of the map you want where you're not supposed to be able to get to.
Yeah, crazy wall jumps and shit like that.
Wall jumps, bomb jumps to get you up to places that you normally can't do. People can get all the way to the like the lower Norfair through the lava without even having a Varia suit.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like there are guys who have like busted that game wide open. You know, one of my favorite runs is actually a guy who does the Super Metroid reverse boss order.
That's absurd.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. That's my total jam. But
nice. So listen to Brett and Brian. Get your money's worth out of your games. This is turning into old at heart cast here. You know, get your money's worth out of your games. Don't hurt your back. Use some Gold Bond powder and.
we were actually on deck to do it good that time.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I think I just kind of mess it up on purpose all the time.
Brian, have you finished Breath of the Wild?
Yes, I finished it once. For those of you who are keeping score, my first 2 months of quarantine were nothing but Breath of the Wild. Like all I did was write music, give lessons, and play Breath of the Wild. That's like all I did. And I've played through it twice in that time, actually. I finished it and I started it over immediately and did it again.
I mean,
I guess that speaks to how my stupid brain works. I guess I don't know what to say.
I haven't played the game, but a lot of people have called it one of the best games of all time. And just from my experience talking to you guys and coworkers like who've owned the game, I can see it is an amazing game. Like, just there's a certain amount you can glean. Like, obviously, there's hype for games and whatnot, but when you consistently meet people of so many different types and backgrounds, all saying how much they love the game and played it multiple times and invested all this time, like, I think you can objectively say it is a really good game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, super good.
The one criticism people do have that I found is that it doesn't function like a traditional Zelda game, in that it's significantly more open. Traditionally in Zelda, it's like you do a dungeon, you get this item. This item allows you to move to the new area where you find the next dungeon and on down the line. And this is significantly more open and wandering than that.
The food and the weapons are so different too.
Yes, a very different system, and you could do the parts in any order almost, really. So.
I know I'm gonna get shat on by the internet for saying this, but that specifically is the reason that I never really got into almost any Zelda games. I like Link to the Past. I liked the first one on the Wii. What was that? Twilight Princess. I really like Breath of the Wild, but I think the fact that I knew the story and I knew exactly what was going to happen in every single story, it was just like a very small, slight variation. I always knew I was going to get the hook shot and the boomerang. I knew that was coming. Was something that kind of turned me off of most of the Zelda games, and I think Breath of the Wild did it so differently. That's what made me love it again. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, you could isn't every Castlevania you starting at in the yard and eventually going in and killing Dracula?
And you could say that about a lot of other games that I love too, but I don't know, there's something just specifically about the world of Zelda that where that
would apply to this game.
Yeah, exactly. My criticisms only apply to this specific game. Go. But yeah,
let's shit on him, internet.
Yeah, get me. Wait a minute, he's a phony. But I don't know. It's something about that world, those characters, that specific setting that it just kind of irked me. Where I know that I am sitting on a throne of shards of glass and lies. So I realize that.
I mean, no, I guess I see where you're coming from. I get it.
Yeah. All right. Before it gets too late, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you've been waiting for. This is the last TRIDENTcast of the year, and now we are going to tell you our top 5 things of 2020. What things, you may ask? Well, that is completely up to the person who is making the list. And Brent, you already sent me something. Do you want to start? Since I've got it here and ready to go.
Well, I had 2 ideas. I was gonna ditch that one.
Okay. Well, I just brought it up. So.
Oh, okay. You can bring it up.
Do you want to talk about it quickly?
I just had like my top. I do nature photography on the side, and these are like my top 5 photos of the year. I couldn't travel as much as I wanted to, but like the top left one is a real trippy like water abstract that I took just in a nondescript pond. Top middle is Lake Superior, some weird like iron deposit shit going on, making the rocks look red.
It's a T1000 run.
Let's see. Top right, Badlands National Park. Did a road trip. Bottom left is Badlands as well. And bottom right is somewhere in Wisconsin. But what I really wanted to share was like my top 5 albums of the year.
Okay. Top 5 albums. Go for it.
Yeah. So number 1, and I guess this is not in order. Unleash the Archers, I have to say. That album fucking rules.
Yeah.
It was they definitely branched out more musically than they did on like Apex, for example, and they did it very well. So if somehow you haven't heard that album by now, I'd really recommend it. Next one, I would say there's this band called Spirit Adrift I'd never heard of before, but
I know that one.
Yeah, it's just like a really fun, like fun metal, pump your fist, wear a battle jacket, kind of fun heavy metal.
Is it pizza thrash? Would you call it pizza thrash?
What's that?
I don't know. It's like there's a floating definition of what pizza thrash is, but for me, it's like the battle jacket, heavy metal, pump your fist, while eating pizza and being like pepperoni, sausage, pepperoni, woo!
It's got that spirit, I think, but it's better vocals, and like the composition of the music, I think, is pretty thoughtful. Like if you pay attention, it's like pretty thoughtful, despite it being just like a straightforward metal album.
Gotcha.
So that's a good one. Another one, kind of not in this normal metal radar, is this band called Hum, which apparently had a really big song in the 90s that I've never heard. Anyway, they put out a record after like 16 years or something, and it's like, I think the genre is shoegaze, which I don't know anything about, but
oh yeah,
it's like a record that's like, it's slow and chill and heavy at the same time. I really like that vibe where it's like heavy and chill sounding. So that record's pretty cool. Hum, Hum. And then I'll just lump the next three in together because they're all guitar nerd albums. Intervals, Pliny, and John Petrucci albums are all like top notch. I love them all. So that's top 6.
Nice. Aki, what is your top 5? What top 5 things are you going to talk about, and what are your top 5 things? And
that's really
if you need
hard.
if you need some more time, I can go. I've got a list prepared.
Yeah, I think we'll need some more time. We need to think. I'm trying to think of something.
Right. Brian or Brett, do you guys have anything prepped, or you want me to go?
I don't know.
I can probably whip something up here real quick. I will do my my top 5 coping mechanisms of 2020.
Okay. And Michi just joined us, ladies and gentlemen. Cat on chat, Cat on stream. There she is. All right, go for it.
I will say number 5 would be the Sierra Nevada Brewing Company. We have made it a point to, Andrea and I have really developed a taste in the last 10 months for the straight pale ale, the torpedo, and especially the hop bullet has that's a double IPA. And that is that has become our pinnacle favorite pale ale that we just can't seem to get enough of. We really, really enjoy it. For hard liquor, I would say number 4. So Sierra Nevada, number 5, number 4. It is a liquor called B&B, which is a combination of like kind of like a Benedictine and brandy, and it's a sweet after dinner drink, but we really, really enjoy sipping on that. I first got I was studying the Finnish composer that my brain is going, Sibelius, in grad school. And there's this wonderful painting of him called The Symposium, where he's getting drunk after a concert with some of his fellow composers and musicians and artists. And it's like they're in a bar at midnight, and their table is trashed and full of empty B&B bottles. I'm like, I got to try that. And it did not disappoint. Coping mechanism number 3, we just talked about it, Breath of the Wild. Like I said, that was like the first 2 months of quarantine. It's like all I did, it felt like. And I would love to replay it again, but I will absolutely agree with Brett. The idea of starting it over just seems so daunting, especially since I've kind of got a Lord's record to finish. And then I started having to do like, monthly or bi-monthly live streams. So it's like, okay, I spent some time, I played some video games, I feel guilty for being a slower, and now I'm going to get back to work. On that regard, number 2 would be all of the session work I did. I ended up cutting a lot of guest solos, especially in the first half of quarantine, for a variety of things and a variety of projects. And those were a godsend, because as much as I wanted to just crack out and play video games, getting those to keep my fingers moving and to keep my brain thinking and not just turn into a pile of mush was very good. And coping mechanism number 1 would be our 2 new cats, which we picked up at the beginning of November, Boba and Mochi, a brother and sister that we picked up from the Madison Cat Project. And they were teeny tiny when we got them and super cute, and they're definitely have grown up now, and now they're becoming little terrors. We still love them, but yeah, they're beginning to figure out how to trash our house. But that being said, they love to cuddle still, and they have become a wonderful source of entertainment for us. With honorable mention, also along with Breath of the Wild, to Diablo 3. I think 2 or 3 seasons of Diablo 3 have come by since quarantine started, and Andrew and I have played the snot out of all 3 of those. So, and obviously, I played a lot of guitar. I played a lot of guitar and gave a lot of lessons. But these were my coping mechanisms, is how I stayed sane, I guess. So
that was a good list.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
The chat is saying we got to get Michi and Mochi together.
I don't think it would work. I don't think it would go well.
I don't think it would either. Michi
I don't think they would get on very well.
Yeah. Michi is a very skittish cat. We've had her around other cats before, and she just like runs away constantly. So
yeah,
she gets bullied. But when she's alone, she is a queen of the house. So, all right, I will, to give Aki and Brett a little bit more time. I'm going to go through the top 5 games that I have completed in 2020 that I would recommend that people check out. These are not in any particular order, and some of these are a little deep cut. But I ended up going through a bunch of my kind of like older Steam library to do games, and I had a really great time with a bunch of them. Number 1 is a game that just came out recently that might maybe be my game of 2020, my favorite game of 2020, which is Hades. It is a It's so good. It's a procedurally generated dungeon escape game where you are like the prince of Hades in Greek mythology, and you are essentially trying to escape Hades, so that you can get to the human world to see your mother Persephone. And the interesting thing about it is that it is a game that is procedurally generated, and it's different every time, but it is a game that that basically writes that into its own story. So like, you might not be strong enough and you die on like level 2 the first time you play it. And then you get respawned in the throne room, and Hades, your dad, is like, only made it up to level 2, I see. Well, guess you're just not strong enough, and like all of the dialogue, I haven't run across a repeat section of dialogue yet. And I think I played it for like 20 plus hours. Like it's been every single encounter has been building off of the one before it. So like there are these two bosses in like say level 4 that you fight. And, the 5th or 6th time you fight them, you're like, well, I guess we're doing this again, aren't we? Like, no chance you just want to let me go past you guys? Or, no? Okay, all right, well, all right, that's fine. Kind of a thing. So it's really, really, it's a fun game. It's really, really cool. I'd highly recommend it. Hades, check that out. So that's probably my number 1 of 2020. My number 2 of 2020 was Doom Eternal. I really love the original Doom. Doom Eternal was almost just as good. My only criticism of Doom Eternal, it was like there was almost too much stuff too many options. When I play Doom, I want to like run, jump, shoot, make thing go bang. And this is like, you can modify your weapon in 45 different ways to suit your playstyle. It's like, no, I just want to make thing go bang. That's like, put some fucking heavy metal in the background, and I want to run around real fast and make thing go bang. That's what I want. Well, what if you could shoot aerial bullet? Like, no, I just want to make thing go bang. Come on. So, but it took me about 5-6 hours of playing it to really get into it. But then once I did, it was really fun. Probably the most satisfying and my best game of the entire year was not a game that came out this year, but a game that I finished, Witcher 3. Holy crap, that game is so good. That might be in my top 10 games of all time. That game is amazing.
Oh wow, that's
yeah,
quite a compliment.
I think
I'm 20 minutes into Witcher 3. I'll have to get back to it eventually.
I would almost say that it's better than Skyrim. I think, like and I loved all of the Elder Scrolls games. Man, Witcher 3 is so good. Holy cow!
The expansions,
what?
Did you play the expansions?
I have the expansions. I didn't play them because I went to the regular ending, but I'm gonna go back and play the expansions. Yeah.
The one that's in Tucson, the hell is it? Heart and Wine or something like that.
Blood and Wine.
Blood and Wine. So good. So good.
Yen or Triss? I went for Yen. Yeah.
I think I did as well.
So I love that one. Here's a couple more that's a little more off the beaten path. Oh, we got Dog on stream, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit more off the beaten path. One that got released this year that I really enjoyed was Ori and the Will of the Wisps. If you guys have not played Ori and the Blind Forest, and you enjoy Metroidvania games, Ori and the Blind Forest is beautiful. Like, super challenging, super fun, amazing Metroidvania type game, but beautiful. Like, graphic and especially music wise. Like, the score, and I mean that in like a very orchestral type of way. The fucking score is just to die for. So emotionally charged. So it's like, it's a game that you will cry. I guarantee you will cry. If you don't cry during that game, like tears of happy joy. Oh god, that game is amazing. And Ori and the Will of the Wisps was a really great follow-up to it. Not quite as tear-jerkery as the original Ori, but definitely still really emotionally impactful and a really fun, challenging game. So check those out. The last two that I'll talk about here, I played this Chinese game called Paper Dolls, and it's a horror game. Aki, I think you might be interested in watching a playthrough of this. It's a horror game where you are like searching through an old, decrepit, like ancient Chinese house, maybe like Qing Dynasty, like real old ancient kind of house. And it's kind of it's like a break out of the room / escape from the monsters type of a game. The graphics were really well done, and it was just very interesting to be caught in an environment that, like, as a Western as Western audiences, like, we're not quite used to that sort of idea of like the Chinese ghost. So just like the difference in the approach to the scares and the just the culture was really interesting. The last one that I finished that I wanted to talk about was Danganronpa, which I don't know if anybody is familiar with Danganronpa. It's so hard to explain what Danganronpa is. There's three games. It's an anime dating sim whodunit mystery murder mystery that is part Dance Dance Revolution, part Phoenix Wright, part shooting game, and part dating sim. It's the most anime thing ever, almost to the point of like being a turnoff. But if you can like make it through it being so over the top anime, it's a pretty fun game. So those are my games of 2020. Boo, 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 boo.
Good list.
Yep. Oh, hold on. Let me. Those are my games of 2020. All right, Aki and Brett, what do you guys got?
I'm bad at thinking of things on the spot, but I guess I'll go close to Brent and give you some top 5 songs.
Oh.
Song. And I'm mostly going through my Spotify playlist of what I've listened to the most this year. So sticking with Unleash the Archers, off the Abyss album, Through Stars has been like one of my favorite songs of this entire, ever since that came out. Just the vocal melodies through that, in the choruses and everything, just to me, just does everything right in my books. So there is that. So off of My Wrath came out with a live album this year, live in Carthage. I strongly suggest listening to the whole thing because it's amazing. So basically anything off of there, but I mean I'll stick with Believer since that's like their main hit. It's great off that album. Sounds like the record basically, but or actually no, the hell is the intro? Whatever the intro track is on that album, going into the first song, it's just such a great intro for
Jasmine
live show. No, on the live Carthage album. I'm forgetting the.
I just hit play on and there was no intro before Believer.
Oh yeah, for some reason it does. It has that like weird intro thing.
I know what you're talking about.
But yeah, Born to Survive is or ASL, one of those two. Anyway. Okay, so those two. Oh no, I lost my list. Audrey Tell Me by a band called Juice. They're kind of they're more like kind of funk, I would say. They have a violinist in their band, which is kind of a cool touch. But that's that. Well, hold on. If Aki gets his in the meantime, he can join in.
I'm really scrambling right now to think.
So am I, Aki. Jump on board.
2 more tunes. You can do it.
Right. First Time Feeling by Ripe. Ripe is another funk band that I like listening to. First Time Feeling was going to be one of our wedding songs, I think, but we opted out of it. But it's just like a nice, happy, funky, cool tune. Ripe's a great band. And then, Sunset by The Midnight.
Nice.
I've been in love with that song majority of this year. And I mean, that entire album, I think, is my favorite Midnight album. So there are 5 songs that are my favorite for the year. I did it. Put something together.
Aki, you can just go with top 5 favorite places we've played that have burnt down, if you want.
Well,
the Pentagon.
The hexagon, not the pentagon.
It was a 5-joke tie.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Get on the level.
There was the octagon was pretty good. The nonagon, not so much. The quadrilateral was definitely my favorite. That's not around anymore. The rhombus, like, eh.
The rhombus is really derivative of the quadrilateral, I would say.
But the trapezoid.
Trapezoid is good.
Also quadrilateral.
I didn't like the green room and the dodecahedron though.
Yeah.
And we stalled it for enough time for Aki. He's gonna pull like my video's freezing.
I was
Sorry, my internet's frozen.
I was really trying to think like what top 5 list should I do? Like, and I guess it was hard too because I was like, what have I done this last year? It's been kind of like I mean, it's been a really crazy year. So much has happened. I mean, like coronavirus, election, all kinds of things. But I was just thinking about how like plain my life has been since like we're not, we've done some live streams, but just like, yeah, just nothing too eventful has happened. I guess I was struggling to think of all them, kind of the 5 big like scientific breakthroughs or stories that kind of hit me this year during COVID, and struggling to think of 5, but some that immediately came to mind was one was how quickly we came up with a vaccine when traditionally vaccines have taken decades literally to develop.
Yeah.
And how amazing of a scientific story that is alone. Like multiple companies already have vaccines that have, one that's 95% effective to just, show you what humans are capable when we put our energies to it. And then I was thinking of too how was it NASA's OSIRIS and Japan's Hayabusa 2, basically they sent those probes to grab samples of asteroids, and like it's so freaking amazing, the idea that we can launch something, it lands on a moving object on an asteroid, grabs a sample and comes back. And Japan's just dropped off their thing just like a week or 2 ago, and then NASA's OSIRIS is still, I think we have to wait 2 years with that. So to me, that was a big one. The other one I was thinking is SpaceX had their first successful human space launch, which is ginormous since we don't use the space shuttle anymore. And so with their like Dragon capsule and their Falcon 9 rocket, we don't have to rely so much, for example, on like Russia to ferry passengers to like the International Space Station. So let's see, that's 3. And then a 4th one I was thinking of was how during COVID it's allowed us to examine where pollution is coming from. And all these experts thought that pollution would drop drastically during COVID, but we're finding in many areas that's not the case. And we found, for example, in LA, at first people got really hopeful when the big smog of pollution disappeared off of, right above LA, but then it came back and they realized that it was just rain that temporarily pushed it away. And in fact, much of the pollution was actually coming from trucks, not cars. And the fact that there's so many busy ports lining the bays of Southern California, and from those ports, tons of big trucks, basically take all the cargo, and that contributes to a huge amount of pollution. And similarly, they did a study in Texas, and they found that the petrochemical companies were still emitting huge amounts of smog. So even if very much fewer, people were driving to and from work, a lot less pollution was coming from daily passenger traffic as we thought.
Wow.
And since I've ran out big news stories, I'm going to say the biofluorescent platypi. That's going to be my 5th one.
There you go. Oh man, that was a good list.
That is a good list. Aki's like, here are the best 5 scientific achievements since quarantine started. And I'm like, I drink pale ale so I don't put myself in a dumpster.
And then I was like, and see, these are my favorite video games of this year that I have been playing. And well, guys, I think that is about it to wrap it up for this year. Unless anybody has anything else to add, speak now or forever hold your peace. I'll let everybody know again. Remember, New Year's Day. That's 2 days away. Holy cow! At noon Central, we will be debuting a very fun video on the YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. YouTube.com/Lords of the Trident. thanks to everybody who is up on our Metal Army on Patreon, patreon.com/shorts-of-trident. We actually also made our Patreon goal this year, which was absolutely insane to us, which I didn't think was going to happen because of COVID, but it did. So I got to check 2 things off of my to-do list this year. We're finishing up the album. We're gonna start recording soon. We're hopefully getting back soon together to practice. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up in 2021. Looks like Mad with Power 2021 is going to be happening. Knock on wood. So stay tuned here. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging, for subscribing, for being cool people, for supporting us through these weird, crazy, wacky times. And I'm going to break with tradition tonight.
I am so glad you didn't say what everyone's saying nowadays, where they're like, in these unprecedented times.
Yeah. No, I don't want to. I will not say that. I'm going to break with tradition tonight.
That's unprecedented, Ty.
I know, it's unprecedented. In these unprecedented times, I must break with tradition. I'm not going to throw it to anybody for a final word. I'm going to throw it to myself. Here is my final word of 2020. Let that be a lesson to all the Gary Berghoffs, Joey Lawrences, Tina Users, and George Goober Lindsays. If you believe in yourself, drink your school, stay in drugs, and don't do